Dale Bradley.
Well, every year we always host our coaches from Kansas State University, and you've already heard Bill Snyder earlier, who gave you a tremendous amount of information on the football team. Coach DeBenny was here, the soccer coach, and then we had the Jeff Mitty, who did give you quite a bit of information about the women's basketball team. My pleasure today to introduce Coach Weber. He's one of the winningest active Division I coaches with 375 career wins and 10 NCAA tournament appearances to his credit. Coach Weber begins his 4th season at KSU for the 2015-16 season. He is the school's 24th head men's basketball coach at Kansas State. In 2012 and 13, he helped the Cats to their first conference championship in 36 years. His 62 wins here are the 3rd most by a coach in his first 3 seasons in school history, which includes 32 in the very competitive Big 12 Conference. Weber and Lon Kruger are the only head coaches to guide the Wildcats to the NCAA tournament in their first 2 seasons. Even though we lost a few games last year, 2014-15, and there were several of those games that were 10 points or less, and a few of those were 5 points or less. So those kind of games can go either way. However, we defeated the University of Kansas, which makes up for a lot of that. Coach Weber's record-setting inaugural season is considered one of the best men's basketball seasons in the school history at 27-8 and 14-4 in league play, and won the Big 12 championship and a trip to the NCAA tournament. The 14 wins in league play tied the school record by the 1958-59 team. In all, Coach Weber has 36 years of coaching experience, and he was born in Milwaukee to Louis and Dawn Weber, growing up with 2 sisters and 2 brothers. He graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee in '78 with a bachelor's degree in education. He added a master's degree in education and physical education from Western Kentucky University in 1981. He's married to Megan Weber and has 3 daughters, Hannah, Christy, and Emily. I present to you Coach Bruce Weber.
You recognize a lot of faces here, some neighbors, old neighbors, and appreciate everything. I appreciate everything you guys do and all the projects that you're involved with. It's a great organization, and yeah, I wish I had more time to do other things, but they're always got me doing something. That, it's funny. Dale talked. Since I've arrived here, this is my 4th season, as he mentioned. All I ever hear is just beat Kansas. And I always, in my mind, I think, well, if we go 1-29, you think they're going to invite me back to Rotary next year. So I don't think so. And I found out a little bit last year. We beat Kansas, and we still didn't win enough games. So it's, but that's just part of it. And last season was, it was what it was. Very disappointing for myself, for our staff, obviously for the fans. The thing is, and I think I was here last year, and the word I used a lot, I know on the Catbackers last year, ahead of the season, was that I was cautiously optimistic. And there was a lot of excitement. We had some players back, and but there were things that had to be solved. And the thing that I think people don't realize, and it's so hard. Talent is important. There's no doubt, but that discipline is very, very important. Obviously, Coach Snyder, what he's done with his program, it just amazes me, and we're excited about the game Saturday and see. It'll be interesting, because you don't have Lockett anymore, you don't have Colin Klein, you don't have what's going to happen, and that that's the fun of sports. But I would anticipate, he's going to have a good product on the field. There's no doubt, because of what his program's about and the kids in the program. And so that discipline is very important, but also another word, chemistry is really important. And as a fan, you hear coaches use all these cliches, we have good chemistry, we don't, the leadership, all these words, but you can't describe it. And I give you a great example of this. I did a clinic in Istanbul, Turkey, at the European Championships a few years ago, and it was in Turkey, so there was a Turkish interpreter, and then there was a German interpreter. So I would have to say something. I'd turn to him. I'd say 2 sentences. He'd do it. So, and one of my talks was about, building practices, team building, all that type of thing. And I said the importance of chemistry of your team. So I turned to him, and he didn't say anything. And then he kind of looked. I turned to him. He didn't say anything. And then they went to each other, and they started whispering. And I didn't know if I said something wrong or what. And then one guy came and tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "You mean chemistry? You give your players drugs?" and I said, no, we'll go to another subject. But it made you realize that word chemistry, they couldn't interpret it. And you can't really, you can describe it, everyone gets along, all this stuff. But when you have a team that has great chemistry, as a player, as a fan, you know it. And we just never got that mix last year, and there were other issues, and the thing that with as Dale also mentioned, the sad thing is we were very, very, very close in a lot of games, but that discipline, that toughness, that chemistry really make a difference in the winning and losing, and especially that 4 or 5 games that could go any way. I mean, even into the last week, if we do, finish out strong, we win a couple games in the Big 12 tournament. With our RPI, with I think it was 6 top 25 wins, with 9 top 100 wins, we're probably in the tournament. And that's what's really sad and frustrating as a coach. But we had, as a staff, as the leader of the staff, we had to make a decision, and we had to decide if we had players in the program that made K-State people proud, and we made some decisions, and we had to go another direction, and it's a tough thing. If you're a parent, if you're a boss, one of the hardest things to do, I really believe, is to give tough love, and to make sure. And I'm the worst. I have 3 daughters, and my wife will tell you, I've been gone a lot. Last year, I think I was in hotels 115 nights. So now we don't have the daughters there now, but before I was probably as assistant, maybe more than that. So when I would come home, of course, my 3 darling daughters would, Mom already said no about something. They said, "Dad, can we do this? Can we do this?" "Oh, sure, no problem." And I promise you, I learned, please ask your mom first before we decide on that. But tough love is really hard to do. And it's a tough thing, and it's stressful. It's hard to deal with it, and then dealing then not only the players but the parents. But we have to move forward. We have a new group, a lot of new players. I am more excited after the summer than I was a year ago. There's no doubt about it. My biggest issue or concern is we're going to have a lot of new players that are inexperienced. And we're going to have to blend them together, and some guys are going to have to step up. I think it's a little bit like 2 years ago, where after losing the winningest class in history, Rodney, J.O., Martavius, we had a few guys back, Will, Shane, Thomas, but we had to have some young guys really step up, and they did. And I think that's going to be important. And so our returners are going to, the guys that stuck with us and believe in K-State, they have to step up their game. That's Wesley Iwandu and Stephen Hurd and Justin Edwards and Brian Roletter, and then probably the big key is probably DJ Johnson, a young man that's 16 months in a boot. And if we would have had DJ last year, I promise you we would have won at least 2, maybe 3 more games. His energy, his charisma, his physical toughness, all that would have helped us. Plus the competitive nature and leadership he would have brought would have really helped us. But, he got, after 16 months, he broke his foot, if you remember, in the Kentucky game, in the NCAA tournament. And when they went in to fix it, they found another fracture. So it's just been a long time. But he finally got on the court and did a full workout our first couple days of school here a couple weeks ago. So we're excited to have him back. But those guys have to be the foundation of our program. Now, a lot of new guys. The one common denominator with all the new guys is they've won, and that's really important. As a coach, if you had guys that have been successful and understand winning. That makes a difference also. And it starts with Dean Wade, the young man from St. John's. You know, I know a lot of people went and watched. They won back-to-back state championships. And Bramlage, he actually won 3 in a row, and they are close to the all-time state record in Kansas of wins in a row. I think they need 4 more as a program. So unbelievable. The coach has done a great job, great program. But it helped to have Dean, and Dean's a good player. You know, Dale asked, you know, is he strong enough? Well, he gained 17 pounds in the 8 weeks this summer, and that's a bunch. And on the bench press, we do the NBA 185. How many times you can do that? When he got here, he was about 2.5, and then at the end of the summer, he was up to 8. So we had a good, you know, not only him, but we had some other guys, good summers gaining weight. You know, him and Pearson McAtee was walking on, Doc McAtee's son. They both were kind of battling for the most weight gain. Now, Pearson had a lot further to go than Dean did, but I think he was around 16 pounds. So and you say, how do you do it? Now, we do that and we're fat. You know, they do it. It's actually a good thing. And, you know, the shakes, all the new rules with the NCAA of, you know, they're getting a stipend, and they're getting, you know, the food. They say unlimited food. It's really not unlimited, but we have more opportunities, and we have refresher places that shakes, nuts, fruits, all that type of things. We're smoothie bar, you know, all that, you know, we're trying, and all, you know, it all adds up. But, you know, guys like Dean and Pearson that really helped them. Another young man from Tampa, freshman, Barry Brown, took his team to the Final Four last year, and he can score. You know, in our players' terms, he has juice. And it's not a bad thing, and doesn't have drugs. If you look at that interpretation, he's got game. I guess he can make baskets, and you know you never know till they get out on the court and before in the Bramlage or on the road. But he can go with the ball and make some baskets. He's just got that natural ability. Dad played basketball. Dean's dad was a football player. Dean Wade's here at K-State. He didn't finish his career here, and then his mom was a volleyball player. So Dean's got a lot of that you know, good bloodline of hopefully dad's toughness and mom's jumping ability from volleyball. Barry's dad played at Division I basketball at the University of Jacksonville, so you know, good bloodline again. Kamal Stokes, a little zipper. I think you're going to like him. You know, he's little. Now he's frail. He's put on about 8-10 pounds, but he's coming from about 160 and you know, he's got to get stronger. But from Baltimore, Maryland, played at Fort Union Military Academy in Virginia, and just really quick zipper. I don't. When I say Seth Curry, and that's, you know, that he's that little guy that could, you know, and I think you'll enjoy watching him and his energy. So. You know, Isaiah Maurice, big guy from North Carolina, about 6'9", got some athleticism, really has to get stronger. Dante Williams, we got a 7-footer. I think that really hurt us last year, not having that backstop to the defense. Young man from the Dallas area, Arlington Bowie High School, was the leading shot blocker in the state of Texas last year. He's had a little bit of a foot issue this summer, but you know, we're hoping that you know, he's made some strides with that. And then we signed a young man late from California, Ron Freeman, and just really, he made his test score late. Good jumper, good jump shot. Ernie Barrett was at our workout the other day, and Ernie ran out. He goes, I don't know him, you know, and he gets all excited. He goes, he's got a good jump shot. And then, now, I don't know how tough he is and all that, but he has a good jump shot, and Ernie liked him, so that was okay. You know, so we got it. That's a big group of freshmen. I'm not sure how many they're all going to have to probably play a little bit. You know, maybe the big guys will have to see if you redshirt one of those guys, just give them another year and divide up the class. Added a couple walk-ons, 2 young men from Hutchinson Community College. They went to the national tournament last year. Austin Budke's from Beloit area, and then Zach Winters from another young man. So we got a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces. You're going to definitely need a scorecard when you come to that first game and know who they all are. I have trouble remembering their name. I'm getting old too. I wouldn't bring the age of the Rotary down, I promise you. But it should be fun. They had a great summer. I could go through all. We had a lot of guys that couldn't do 185 when they got here. and they, after the summer, they were at 2, 3, 4, and so they, I don't know if you say double, triple their strength, but they have to continue that in the fall. Right now, we can do, I'll run back. We got workouts this afternoon. We can do some conditioning. We get 8 hours of off-season stuff with them. That's weights. We do about 3-4 hours a week. We do a little conditioning, build up as we get to practice, and then we get 2 hours of basketball with them now. So we, all summer, we were, teaching, helping their skills, things like that. So it's continuous for them. It's not an easy thing, and we hit it hard when we got back here, got in the weight room. They had their first conditioning test the other day, and then we're always doing workouts. This is a big recruiting time for us. We have kids on campus this weekend. It's so great to have kids come and families come. The football weekends, all the excitement and the crowd support and the purple everywhere. There's no doubt that helps us. That and the facilities, what President Schultz and John Curry has done is just amazing. And Dale mentioned he got into the new building, new football complex. I'm sure Coach Schneider, told you a lot about that, and that's supposed to be a joke. So he does, I doubt, they got, Dale got in. I tried to get in. They wouldn't let me in the other day. So it's a tough thing to get in that building, but it's unbelievable. We have facilities here, and not only for athletics, but the new business school going up, the engineering building, the expansion on that, architecture coming up. They're fixing the Union, fixing the old stadium, the Welcome Center. And just so many people have been so generous to help the university and take it to a new level. And it's I'm proud to be part of K-State and what it represents. And hopefully we have a great future ahead of us. Our schedule, we got a couple exhibition games. We can start practice October 2nd on that Friday. So about 5 weeks from tomorrow. Or 4 weeks from tomorrow it is now, and then we play exhibitions against Fort Hays and Emporia, and then we have a few home games to get it going. Then we will find out how good we are. We go to Kansas City, the College Basketball Experience Tournament at the Sprint Center. Nice advantage, hopefully down the road to get our guys in that building. We open up with Missouri, and then it's North Carolina Northwestern on the other side. So that's a Monday, Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Missouri, obviously, former Big 8, Big 12 team, and that, great rivalry, and it should be fun to play them. And I know their coach, Kim Anderson, pretty well, many years. We're going way back to when he was assistant with Coach Stewart. So, and then, if you get a chance to play Carolina, we do a lot for Coaches versus Cancer. You mentioned the relay, American Cancer Society. When we have a big event that Lon Kruger is involved with, we go to Vegas. We had about 35 K-Staters again this year, but I was walking through the casino and they had on the ticker the favorites to win the national championship next year, and it was North Carolina. So so if we get to play them, we're going to find out how good we are. We got a couple road games. We go to Georgia, go to Texas A&M. Those should be good games for us early. Play St. Louis at home, play Mississippi at home in the non-conference, and then the conference. It's 2 years ago, I would have never predicted it was going to be that good. Then last year we were probably better. I don't know if it can be better, but it's definitely going to be up there as one of the top conferences in the country, and it's going to be very, very competitive. And then they didn't do us any favors to start the conference. I think we have 3 top 25 teams to start with West Virginia, Texas, and Oklahoma right off the bat, and one on the road, or one at home and then 2 on the road. So it's going to be tough. But that's part of it. It's the fun of it. When I got here 3 years ago, I had no idea how good we were when we won the league. And then the next year, you didn't know. And then we had a little more. We still got in the NCAA tournament, and we're in the top 25 part of the time. And then last year, we thought we'd be a little better, and things didn't work out. So I like this group. I like where we are. I think we can be good, but things got to, injury wise, and our guys stepping up maturity wise, and things. It's going to be a big, difference maker in where we are at the end of the season. So it should be fun. And again, I can't emphasize, I'm really excited about our young guys in our program. They're kind of people that you appreciate. I've talked a lot with our guys about acting the right way, treating people the right way, and playing the right way. And if you do those things, you'll be successful. Any quick questions? I know it's getting late. Anything about anything? I don't know who the starting quarterback is. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't read the papers, so when they were talking about help with media, I can't give you any help with that. So,
I might ask you one real quick. Like, what do you think about the camaraderie of this team versus the problem team last year?
Yeah, we had, last year we had a lot of cliques, and it was, and that doesn't work with a team. And you got to have unity. You're not going to be, when I recruit guys, and I told one of them last night, you're not going to be best friends with everyone on your team. You never are. But when you come to the court and you want to be around people that care and have the same goals, I think that's an important thing. And I think we have that, and I think our older guys learn from it. And I would hope we have better camaraderie. It looks like it right now. We did some team stuff too this summer. I don't know, you were home that night. We had everybody over and had some fun games and stuff like that at our house, and they seemed to get along pretty well. A couple more.
How do you feel about the pledge?
About what?
The new pledge, the student pledge.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship. So as far as with
Everybody signed it.
okay, the big thing is obviously after last year, the Kansas game and some of the stuff, and they really feel it's important that everybody's on the same boat, and I think it's important, but I hope we don't lose some of our traditions that are important. I know there's one song the students really love, and it's got to come back, but they got to learn different words to go chant along with it. So, but those are the things, and we're gonna do our part of our job. I'm gonna do some messages to the students, and I think it's important that.
Give us the words.
We'll figure out something, but and the other thing is, if we beat Kansas the last 2 years, we don't have to storm the court anymore. So it's okay, Or I'll be the one get up there. I'll tell the students to wait for them to get off the court, and then I'll wave them down. So maybe we'll do that, and then no one will get hurt. Thank you very much. Go Cats.